99.9% of everybody who believes the Earth is a spinning ball believes it because of those pictures. I mean, let's just be real. People think the Earth is a spinning ball because they saw a picture. No, I bring this up because Bro Sanchez, a friend of the Daniel Show, personal friend of mine, great guy, he recently debated a guy that I was supposed to debate. I had a debate against a guy named MC McToon, and then I was challenged by this guy called Fight the Flat Earth, FTFE. And then he backed out of the challenge and said I was a fake flat earther and I was just posing to be a flat earther. And I was like, no, I'm the real deal. I've been into flat earth since like 2013. I don't know why you would think I'm faking this. You invited me on the show. I'll come on and talk to you about flat earth. And the way it was kind of presented was FTFE is going to explain to Brother Sanchez heliocentrism, explain to him globe earth. Brother Sanchez is like, hey, I have some issues with the globe. Just some things I just don't understand. Can you explain them to me? Not like, hey, let's debate it. Not let's argue and talk over each other. Let's just have a conversation. And I have some questions. So his first question is, what's the camera they used for this picture that you guys all believe is your home, is your spinning ball Earth? What's this camera? Because they took the picture from like 28,000 miles away. The International Space Station is supposedly like 254,000 miles away. 254,000 miles away. The moon is 250,000 miles away. And when they're coming back from the moon on Apollo 17, they snap a picture of the Earth. Now, we also have video of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin faking the shot of the Earth on Apollo 11. And we have a video of them doing it. We also have video of them getting messages from Houston teaching them how to snap the image. And then you see the image, and it's this picture taken out of a circle window with the windows blacked out, with the camera at a certain angle so it looks like a ball. So it is possible to fake the shape of the Earth. Hollywood does this all the time. So I usually focus on that. But I love Bro Sanchez's approach. I've seen him do it before, and it's really quite funny. And it is really interesting. And I don't think he's trying to like really argue it. I think he really wants to know, like, tell me about this camera. Tell me about this camera with this optical zoom that can take this picture from vast distances and give me such a clear image. On top of that, how can it do it when the Earth is spinning? Now, I know the rebuttal of relativity, but you do understand that's a theory, and you cannot prove that that is objectively true, because we do observe something that's not spinning. Usually when something is not spinning, it's not because you're taking it from something else that is spinning. If you're on a train and someone else is on a train going the opposite direction, and you're videotaping outside the window, you're going to see the other train move, even if it's at a vast distance. It is true when you see it at a vast distance, it won't look like it's moving as fast as if it's closer, but it will still look like it's moving. 100%, it will still look like it's moving. On top of that, it's moving in a circle, and it's moving really fast, and you're moving really fast too. I mean, that takes a lot of faith, man. That takes a lot of faith to believe that. That's ridiculous. But there's no rebuttal for the zoom quality of the camera. It was an 80 millimeter camera or something like that. Just to contrast it, the P900 camera is like a 2000 millimeter camera with 87 times optimal zoom. I don't know what that means, but I've seen pictures with the iPhone, I've seen pictures with the Canon cameras, I've seen pictures with the Nikon cameras, and I've seen pictures with the Apollo camera, and I've seen other pictures that were photoshopped as well. In 1972, they took a picture of the Earth called Blue Marble. In 2002 and in 2012, they had a photoshopper named Ron Simmons recreate those pictures. And he said, we used Photoshop. He said the last one was all clouds. We took pixels from that image and then we recreated the Earth using our imagination. And that's what he said. We have him on camera. You don't have to watch many flat earth documentaries to come across that footage. Now, debunkers of flat earth want to ignore that. They don't want to admit that's going on, and they want to limit the conversation, and they want to turn the conversation into an interrogation. They want to teach you about relativity. They don't really want to mention the zoom capability. That's ridiculous that you think that that camera can zoom in on the earth and get that shot at 28,000 miles away. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. The P900 camera can zoom in on the moon. It can moon on some stars, and it can zoom in on the wandering stars as well. Now, that doesn't prove their distance, but it is the best optimal zoom. It just is the best optimal zoom. And you get a way different perspective when you look through those pictures. I mean, you just got to kind of take it in. And you go, wow, does this really do it for me? The government had a camera that was just way less sophisticated. And it's going to take a picture of something that's moving and spinning. And you're like, yeah, it does it for me. Yeah. Oh, we got the general theory of relativity. Yeah. Oh, here's some math, here's some science. Oh, let me yell at you for a minute. And then on top of that, we're going to censor you off YouTube. We're going to kick you off our shows. I was kicked off of my debate. And then the Fight the Flat Earth guy won't debate me. He won't debate me because he knows I'm just going to say that he has a theory. Not feeling spin is objectively still, is objectively stationary. That is proof. Not measuring curve is proof of a plane. Having water be level and not having a higher side on another side than another side. Having no higher side is proof that it is level. It is not curved. On your ball, you need the water to be higher on one side than the other side in order for it to convey and convex to your ball. Water is not level on your 25,000 mile circumference ball. It needs to fit your theory, and it doesn't, because all you have is a theory. And your camera is absolutely ridiculous that you think that that camera took that image at that distance. Can it take an image at a closer distance with blacking out the windows? Yeah, because we have video of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin doing it. So yes, it can. Yes. But I don't know what the distance was. We don't know all the numbers. But you need the numbers so then you can come up with your little theory, and then you can see if your theory tests positive. But your theory might only test positive in one tiny scenario. So you get a 15-degree drift. Ooh, a 15-degree drift. And you test it through, and it doesn't test at a 15-degree drift every time. Your pendulums do not test at a 15-degree drift every time. Not only do they not test at a 15-degree drift every time, they almost never test at a 15-degree drift. And then you look at things through scopes that can, see light in the air and stuff, and yeah, you do not always get a 15-degree drift. And you need a 15-degree drift. You have a system, you have a story, you have a hypothesis, and it 100% never tests true. It never tests true. And your pictures are phony, baloney, photoshopped images. And schizophrenics can't handle reality. They don't want to live in reality. And that's all it's come down to. They just don't want to live in reality. And they can't even have a conversation with a nice gentleman from Alabama that's going to just explain to you better than most people the reality of it. I mean, the reality of it is the government can fake it. Hollywood fakes it. Ron Parson hangs out with Steven Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick. I mean, it is possible to fake pictures of the earth. On top of it, it's also a theory that motion is relative to the observer. Every time I see something moving, I know it's moving. Things usually are the things we name them as. It's usually, I can't think of an example of something that's so other than what we observe it as. I would love an example of something that appears to be one way, but then isn't that way. So the earth appears to be flat, stationary, fixed, and water seems to be level. And out of the water comes land. The water is our plane. And the sun and the moon and the stars appear to rotate around us. That's just what we observe. That's just observationally true. Now they say, no, because it doesn't fit their religion, and their religion is to become a god using the creation. So the creation creates itself in evolution, and then if you partner with the creation, you can then become a deity, you can become a god. You evolve. You are a survival of the fittest. You are a scientist. The experience of knowledge. And you have the experience of knowledge, and you get to teach it to others. And then we have to follow your system, even when your system doesn't make sense, because it comes from you and because you've partnered with this God system, and then you're going to get in a rocket ship, and you're going to live on another planet, a net for your mind, a place where your dreams and memories are going to come true. And it doesn't have to mimic reality. Reality says there is no curve. Reality says the earth is a flat, fixed, stationary plane of existence. And then the sun and the moon and the stars kind of archive our time. And we live on this third dimensional plane that we can't see all dimensions at the same time. And there's other things going on. And you don't want to accept reality. We can't change reality and we can't control reality, but we can name it and we can recognize it. And you don't want to recognize it. But I would love an example of something that appears to be not moving, but is actually moving. Things beget things, and then we name them. The train is moving. The sun is moving. The wind moves things. I can feel it. The earth? No. It's not moving, man. It's not moving. I can't observe it. And your drift in the air, it doesn't test positive. It just doesn't. And then your pictures, your pictures should show a blurred earth. That it should show. Rational people would say, yeah, that picture, that doesn't do it for me. It should be blurry. Every time I try to take a picture out of a plane, it's kind of blurry, especially if I'm taking a picture of something that's moving. If I'm taking a picture of something that's stationary, I know that thing's stationary. If I'm in a plane and I see a mountain and I take a picture of the mountain, I assume the mountain is not moving. But on globe Earth, the mountain's moving like 1,000 miles an hour. Oh, you guys are crazy. You guys are schizophrenics. You can't handle reality. It's absolutely ridiculous. The earth is flat. And your pictures are phony baloney.